In the 1990s, the Premier League was establishing itself as the biggest domestic competition in the world. Alex Ferguson's Manchester United was already emerging as the dominant force, and traditional clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool were always among the title contenders. English football was undergoing a transformation, with the arrival of foreign stars and a more attack-minded approach. Meanwhile, Blackburn Rovers was not even considered a title challenger. They had only been promoted to the Premier League in 1992 and had no recent history of success. However, there was one key factor: Jack Walker, a billionaire businessman and a passionate Blackburn fan, who invested heavily to make the club competitive. He brought in strategic reinforcements, including a striker who would change everything, Alan Shearer. Even with this investment, few believed Blackburn could challenge Manchester United. The 1994-95 season started with Blackburn as underdogs, but that perception would soon change. If you follow the Premier League, you know about the absolute dominance of the so-called Big Six, the football giants that battle for the top spots year after year. But what if I told you that a club outside this elite group once achieved something that seemed impossible? At a time when Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool dictated the rules of English football, an underdog team, without a recent history of major titles, shocked the world and won the Premier League. What makes this achievement even more astonishing is that Blackburn Rovers was not a financial powerhouse, didn't have a squad full of superstars, and wasn't used to fighting for trophies. But one man made all the difference: Alan Shearer. With an incredible goal-scoring instinct and a winner's mentality, he led the team to glory. But how did an unlikely club overcome the giants and become English champions? Let's dive into this incredible story. The team that defied the odds. If there was one word to describe the Blackburn Rovers squad, it was efficiency. There were no global superstars like Eric Cantona at Manchester United or Dennis Bergkamp at Arsenal, but they had a well-drilled unit managed by Kenny Dalglish, a coach who knew exactly how to get the best out of his players. The key piece of the puzzle was Alan Shearer, already one of the most lethal strikers in English football. He formed an unstoppable partnership with Chris Sutton, creating the famous SAS duo, Shearer and Sutton. Midfield leader, Tim Sherwood, a natural-born captain. Solid defense, Colin Hendry, tough and disciplined. Tactical brilliance, Dalglish set up a team that excelled in counterattacks, making Blackburn lethal in transition. Unlike teams that dominated possession, Blackburn was devastating when attacking. Their ability to strike quickly and effectively helped them take the lead by storm, leading the Premier League table for most of the season. The decisive moment, the final match day. Despite their incredible campaign, Blackburn had one major problem: Manchester United never gave up the chase. With just a few games left, the title race was incredibly tight, and everything would be decided on the final day. Blackburn faced Liverpool at Anfield. Manchester United played West Ham. The pressure was unbearable. Blackburn needed a win to guarantee the title, but Liverpool had no intention of making things easy. To make matters worse, if Manchester United won their game, they would steal the title at the last moment. Then, the worst happened: Blackburn lost to Liverpool 2-1. The dream seemed to be crumbling. But over at Upton Park, Manchester United failed to beat West Ham, settling for a draw. Blackburn Rovers were champions. Despite losing their final game, they had done enough throughout the season to secure the Premier League title in dramatic fashion. The Blackburn Rovers title remains one of the most unlikely triumphs in football history. But it was also the last time a club outside the Big Six won the Premier League, with only one exception: Leicester City in 2015-16, another rare fairy tale. Blackburn's success proved that with smart planning, a great coach, and a well-built squad, giants could be challenged. However, the club couldn't sustain its momentum in the following seasons. Their decline was as rapid as their rise. Just a few years later, Blackburn was relegated and never returned to Premier League title contention. But nothing can erase what they accomplished in 1994-95. They wrote their names in history as one of the most unexpected champions ever.
Oh, eyes closed. Through the tightest of gaps, rolling the whole game. Perpetual motion. So, look. When he scores, they tend to be spectacular. Unstoppable. Mims puts it out and it's straight. Unleashes two. Oh, there's a slip there. And Dublin so ends the ball in for a... So, hoisted into the area. Shearer's there, and he goes in. A danger area, and always. It's a good header, it's Blackburn on the attack. Shearer draws the goalkeeper, picks his spots. Goalkeeper to narrow the angles. Shearer with the ball move ahead. Touch stop, beautiful movement from Blackburn. Sherwood's in there, sneaks in.
Later, all eyes were on Anfield as United faltered thanks to a committed show from Liverpool. 3 days on, they were in action again and easily brushed aside Arsenal at Old Trafford. So, at the end of March, Rovers were 3 points clear.
To be to the Premiership at the moment, having home. It works on this one. Oh, there's the end product, especially worked on. How? Stewart tips and scores. Test the Blackburn patience this. Still no goal. Forces the game gone. Sutton! He's trying to the edge of the area. It's aimed for him, and Henry spits forward. It was in determined header right to the penalty spot. This will be the final thing out of the game. And he's flicked it on.
Manchester had other ideas.
Carroll gives it back to his goalkeeper, straight to Shearer! Sent to him by Tony Coton. Carroll. Henry said it himself, but he slipped it through. Rossler, slight volley back for Manchester City. Bowers gets down there, and he gets a second
Lead against Crystal Palace.
to Kenner! To go, slender lead for Blackburn. Plugging away, House. Here's Shearer, let's go! Armstrong beat to the ball, blocks the Houter. Whipping it in. Here's Moncur, stopped by Flowers. Punches over. Still playing. Played that very, very intelligent ball. He was lacking in support, and he pulls it back, because he knows that's what his players might be. It's exactly where Shearer is, and he drills it through, skills his legs.
The Premier League's greatest underdog story? If you ask any football fan about the most unlikely title win in Premier League history, Blackburn Rovers 1994-95 will always be mentioned. A team that nobody took seriously, that overcame giants, and won a trophy that seemed impossible. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think another club outside the Big Six can pull off a similar shock in the future? Was Leicester's 2016 title even more surprising than Blackburn's? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you love incredible football stories, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an epic video.